I'm reading. Biden administration is now considering giving Taliban aid if they uphold their international obligations. Marauding jihadis taunt West with mock funerals for allied troops as they flaunt billions of dollars of U.S. hardware that was left behind, gifted to the terrorist organization by the Biden administration, in my opinion. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said Tuesday that the U.S. could send economic aid to the Taliban, economic aid to terrorists. And we're back to Iran. Taliban victory parades took place in Afghanistan today after the last U.S. troops left the country overnight. Coffins draped in the U.S., U.K., French and NATO flags were paraded through the streets by the Islamists. Thousands of people waving Taliban flags turned out to watch. Of course they are, because they don't want to be shot and killed and raped after fireworks were let off in Kabul overnight. Meanwhile, Taliban leaders paraded at Kabul airport alongside troops decked out head to toe in Western gear, meaning military gear, our American military gear. Taliban commander boasted the airfield will now be a base for jihad for all Muslims. Did you hear that? Oh, my God. Up to 200 American citizens who want to leave were left behind, along with thousands of Afghans. And I don't even believe that 200 number. How do they validate this? How do they validate this? Or verify this? I'm sorry. I don't believe that number one iota. I believe the number is much greater. U.S. National Security Advisor says evacuation has shifted from a military mission to a diplomatic mission. I'm telling you, I said this earlier in the show, and unfortunately, I'm feeling like I'm going to be correct. They are going to, obviously, if they send them aid, they're going to legitimize a terrorist organization as the leaders of Afghanistan. This news keeps getting worse. I tell you the truth, guys, sometimes I'll be completely honest with you. This is a huge story, but there's other stories out there. But I don't want this administration to be able to run away from this. This is, I do believe that Joe Biden is a traitor. I'll say, I don't think you can leave Americans behind enemy line. Again, the Taliban commander boasted the airfield will now be a base for jihad for all Muslims. So he left Americans, abandoned Americans behind enemy lines. He gifts the Taliban with the Bagram Air Force Base. He gifts the Taliban with over $80 billion in American state-of-the-art war equipment. I'm not saying this to be hyperbolic. If this guy should not be impeached, and I'd like to see him perp walked, I don't know who should. I don't know who should. This is another hat tip, forgotten man. Hundreds of Americans left behind. 150 U.S. military dogs abandoned. Taliban starts door-to-door executions. This is who they want to give aid to? And I got a soft spot for dogs. I'm not going to lie. I was blessed, my wife and I, to have 2 dogs. And I can't even talk about them long because I'll start crying. But I love my dogs. One passed a couple of years ago, and the other we had to put down about a month ago. But I never thought I would be one of these people. I used to look at dog lovers and be like, man, these people are crazy. How can they go behind a dog and pick up poop and so disgusting and all of this stuff, man. I'm like, these people are absolutely nuts. They treat their dogs like humans. These people need a life. They've got some psychological issues. And then I was that guy. I mean, dogs, they're just amazing. They're just amazing. General McKenzie admitted the Pentagon has left hundreds of Americans behind at a Monday briefing. The number of Americans has not been revealed by officials. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken put the number of Americans left behind at under 200, likely closer to 100. In other words, they have no freaking idea. While in the video below, McKenzie says hundreds were left behind. He also admitted that no U.S. citizens left on the last jets out. empty jets flying out while you abandon Americans behind enemy lines.